They say this may be crossing the line. They say this review ain't right. But it don't matter to me. I'm reviewing Dolemite.
He's the toughest Dolemite. Hey, Dolemite is here. And his body
Dolemite marks only the second 70s blaxploitation movie that I've reviewed for the show, the other being The Black Six. You know, that movie about a group of bikers and their pet Mean Joe Greene.
Anyway, there is a logical reason as to why I waited this long to tackle this genre again. I had to find a movie that featured a boom mic more prominently than The Black Six.
And Dolemite is that movie. Christ, the boom mic is in this movie more than Judi Dench was in Shakespeare in Love, and she won a fucking Oscar for that movie.
So sit your white ass down, put on your best pimp tie, 'cause it's time to talk about Dolemite, and I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah, perfect place to start up your schlocky low-budget movie. In a prison. As if my mind already didn't feel secluded in watching this.
Okay, Dolemite, the warden wants to see you.
Oh, shit. What the hell did that rat suit-eating motherfucker want with me?
Yes, but tell us what you really think of the warden.
This is our first glimpse of Dolemite, played by stand-up comedian Rudy Ray Moore, here leaving his prison roommate to finish 52 pickup by himself. Dolemite is taken to go see the warden, yes, the rat soup-eating motherfucker we were warned about, but actually, the warden comes across as a pretty nice guy, conceding into Dolemite's innocence, so much so that he releases Dolemite from prison. It was the 70s. Forget about appeals courts or juries or judges. If the warden thinks you're innocent, fuck it, you can leave.
I'm sure Dolemite feels really bad now for calling him... what was it again? A rat soup-eating motherfucker. Hey, I've never had rat soup. It might be delicious.
The warden's opinions on Dolemite were swayed by the kind words of the Queen Bee, pimp mama to Dolemite's pimp daddy.
Oh, Dolemite, I'm so happy.
You know, just because they added tears to your face doesn't mean you don't also have to sound like you're crying.
The warden also puts forth an opportunity for Dolemite to suss out the dirty cops and crime bosses who helped put Dolemite in jail.
Now, I told you the job was dangerous, and you could lose your life. But you're tough. You know how to roll with the punches. The name of the game is stay alive.
Yes, I forgot that the relationship between warden and inmate was that of police chief and reckless rookie cop. Any other police movie slang this movie wants to throw into a scene that doesn't need it?
Now, you're a gambling man, aren't you?
It depends on the game, warden, and how high the stakes are.
For instance, Candyland makes for a terrible gambling game, but with chutes and ladders, you get a 50-50 chance. And I like those odds.
Also, if you didn't know anything about the movie's villain, Willie Greene, don't worry because the opening credit sequence will sing it to you.
Yes, warden?
You do know a man by the name of Willie Greene, don't you?
Some folks say that Willie Greene was the baddest motherfucker the world ever seen.
See? That's all I need to know. He's a bad motherfucker, and he's gotta die. And if you want to know who or what Dolemite is, well, that's easy.
You see, that fossil was made of Dolemite, the tough black mineral that won't cop out when there's heat all about.
Here's a sign that the movie you're watching is gonna turn out to be stinkier than the dildoed end of a pimp cane, if it's actually showing clips of the movie you're about to see in the opening credits. Christ, I'm sitting down here to watch the movie, and it's still trying to convince me to watch it. Ugh, it's nice that they kind of woke their star up to pose for the opening credit shot. Well, now that that's over, let's take a look at how Dolemite got thrown into the slammer. Oh, for crimes against fashion. Well, that's understandable, I guess.
What do you want, man?
FBI.
What do you want?
Huh. Well, you know what they say. If you can't remember your next line, just awkwardly pause and repeat your previous line.
Dolemite is framed by officers White and Mitchell. Yep, Mitchell. In case you didn't know that he too is a white guy, his name is Mitchell, because I guess they couldn't name every evil cop in the movie Officer White.
I got your boy hanging. You no business born insecure motherfucker!
What? Okay, let me get this again. You no business born insecure motherfucker. That's a long way to go to call a crooked cop insecure. And look at Mitchell's reaction to this. See? He doesn't know what the fuck to say about that.
Dolemite gets out of prison, which apparently is just a Pasadena apartment complex.
I don't want to get in my car with this shit on. I'm glad y'all brought my clothes to me.
Yes, never mind leaving prison looking dignified. I need to dress in something way more cartoonish.
Perfect. Shit, he looks like Donald Duck's Mojo.
I want you to take these cheap motherfuckers and wipe your ass with them.
Oh no, Dolemite. We'll keep him here. You'll be back.
Because we need to make a sequel to this film, and we can't afford to have different clothes for 2 movies. Wait, what did it matter if he changed clothes in the parking lot? He's just taking them off again anyway. What was he gonna dress like next, a pirate? Dolemite and his crew pull off to the side of the road when they're accosted by Willie Greene's gang.
Breathing down your neck!
Wow, that was close. He almost hit the fucking camera crew, and God forbid this movie is unfinished.
I totally know what the warden means now by his innocence, because I've just seen him shoot an unarmed man!
Dolemite returns to his pimp cave with his ladies and Queen Bee just to relax for a bit after killing 3 people 1 block away from a prison.
You think maybe it's Willie Greene?
I've known Willie Greene for a long time.
Don't you remember? He sang about him in the opening credits. He's the baddest motherfucker the world's ever seen.
But Dolemite becomes upset when things aren't exactly how he left them.
We don't have the club anymore.
What do you mean we don't have the club anymore?
What she means is that the movie doesn't have the budget to film inside of your club at this moment. Queen Bee lets him know that in order to raise money to help his cause, his girls hit the streets, selling themselves. And she also paid for each girl to take karate lessons.
So you see, we couldn't afford to save the club, but we could afford to turn all of our hookers into martial arts masters. Let's see how that paid off.
And they whipped his ass. He's in the hospital yet with his ass in a sling.
Good work, Queen Bee. You've assembled a group of girl fighters that make Velvet Smooth look like Cynthia Rothrock. Is everything else in this brothel in order?
Well, I'll be goddamn. Bitch, don't you know nobody steals in Dolemite house? Get your shit. Get out of here.
Yes, how dare you steal from us? Murder, prostitution, racketeering, that's one thing. But stealing? You fucking bitch.
So instead of telling us any more about the movie's bad motherfucker villain, and God forbid they show him for more than 2 seconds at a time, Dolemite works off all of that prison abstinence in a scene that... wait a minute. Is that a fucking severed head?
Is that supposed to make a naked Rudy Ray Moore look sexy by comparison? Oh, thank God they cut away from that. The severed head didn't have it in his contract to watch that shit. But don't worry, they'll finish out that bit of 70s eroticism a little later.
My, Mitchell. What would your mama say?
What's the ribs?
No, Mitchell is the other character in the movie.
I'll allow it though. That song kinda fits in this scene too.
Since you wanted my love, I'm gonna give you a fucking you'll never forget.
What the fuck? Is this Blue Velvet all of a sudden? Was he raping the fucking cameraman now?
Don't worry, because there's another awkward cut put into this scene. That's pretty rare to have an unflattering 70s sex scene that not even an editor wants to see.
Oh, they have to be pulling these hush puppies.
Shit, fucking boom mic.
Oh, sorry. I've got to keep myself entertained somehow during this polyester porn.
Oh, Jesus, and now it's coming from underneath.
Fuck. Ugh. Is there no edge of the screen that isn't safe from boom mic penetration?
Dolemite continues to maintain his innocence by assaulting the police and dumping a shit ton of cocaine on them. Although I think it can hold up in court that his foot never actually touched the cop's head.
That's for fucking with me, you no business born insecure motherfuckers!
Christ, man, can you find another insult?
Oh good, another character who isn't Willie Greene. I guess it's good that the opening credits talked about him, because no one else is. This guy here is a corrupt preacher who stores guns in his closet.
Old dirty clothes, huh? I'd hate to pay your laundry bill.
Are you kidding? Have you ever been to a laundromat? It's much cheaper to clean guns. But the preacher soon gets confronted by the good cop in the movie, and you know he's a good cop because he's played by the guy who wrote the script.
Well, maybe that's why Willie Greene isn't in front of the camera too much, because he's played by the guy who directed it.
Jesus, preacher, I'm placing you under arrest for bad images. Dolemite hits the street looking for his informant named Creeper, but first, he's got to deal with his fans?
Well, you tell this man you Dolemite, man. I bet him $5 you Dolemite.
Yes, brother, I'm Dolemite.
Oh, a $5 bet? Nice. That's a bet that says, yeah, I think that might be Dolemite, but if I'm wrong, I don't care.
The movie then has to remind us that Dolemite is played by a stand-up comedian by having him do one of his routines in the middle of the film.
One beautiful day in the merry month of May.
Oh good, story time.
The great Titanic sailed away. The captain and the lieutenant was having a few words. When the great Titanic hit that mighty iceberg, Sean was in the boiler room eating some tea. Black-eyed peas they were. And the water come down near to his knee. Before Sean could take a bite of bread, that water come darn near up to his head. Sean run up on the deck and said, Captain, 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 that water's damn near up to my neck. Captain said, Sean, go back, pack the sacks. We got enough sacks to keep this water back. Sean, you standing up here study bullshitting and drinking? But can't you see this raggedy hunk of junk is slowly sinking?
Okay, well, interesting story. Better than Titanic 2, I guess.
Oh, that's why they're laughing at him. They're drunk! Eventually, Dolemite meets up with Creeper, and Creeper's easy to find because he has his own theme music.
Why does he have his own theme music? He's barely in the film. You could just put any song in there and it would make sense.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha.
Oh, goddamn fucking boom mic. Wait, you can see the guy's hand!
At this point, just film the entire fucking movie in front of a giant mirror.
Oh, and now you can see his fucking head? The boom mic is so far into the shot, I could describe the boom operator to a fucking sketch artist.
And that deserves another drink. Ugh.
Also, it's nice of the director to leave his car door open in the background so he could run across the street to film this scene. Dolemite follows Creeper back to his apartment to find out some info on Willie Greene, such as, are we ever gonna see him again in this movie?
Creeper, I've known you a long time. You've been shooting that shit. Man, if you keep on, it's gonna kill you.
No, Creeper, the heroin isn't gonna kill you, but the bullets will.
The fuck was that? You want to talk about a magic bullet theory?
That bullet just made a 90-degree turn to hit the fucking squib.
If only something like that worked in real life. I could just point this gun right at the floor, pull the trigger, and it could just fucking hit anything.
Oh, and look who's here. Detective O-Racist.
What's the charge this time, man?
This time it's murder. Stick your hands out.
Looks more like slaughter to me.
Well, there's where you're wrong. Slaughter is the Jim Brown movie. Dolemite makes a call to send one of his undercover karate hookers, Shy, in to scope out Willie Greene's nightclub. Oh, not so fucking fast. I saw that fucking boom mic there.
Yeah, heaven forbid I get too fucking drunk.
I don't really care what these three are talking about. I just want to see the stage show that's being auditioned. Tension rises when Willie's men find out who sent Shy.
I'm waiting for Dolemite.
For who?
Dolemite, motherfucker, you...
Yeah, you know, Dolemite, the guy who was standing there for 5 minutes waiting for his cue. Dolemite storms into the club's office, destroys a perfectly fine layer of shag carpeting, which I'm sure was a crime in the 70s, and takes the club's money, thus meaning he now owns the club again.
Fine, I'll buy it. That's how that fucking works, apparently.
And tell him I want him out of here in 24 hours. And 23 of them are already gone.
Wait, hang on. 24 hours, 23 hours, 1 hour. God damn it. Why couldn't he have just said I want him out of here in an hour? I fucking hate math.
After Dolemite leaves, Willie Greene makes a grand entrance where he gets to say more than a few lines.
Seems appropriate for the villain to do, a whole 48 minutes into the movie.
10 minutes, huh?
Yeah, see?
Nice. Willie looks like he was trained by the same karate ostrich as Dolemite. Oh, thank God, boom mic. Oh, good. They actually pan up to get more of the boom in the shot, in case you missed it.
You know, at this point, is it fair to ask, is the director blind? I know he's in the movie, and it appears like he's able to see, but behind the camera, he's less functioning than Woody Allen in Hollywood Ending.
There you go, the boom mic goes away once the fucking scene is done. When the girls are done with their karate lesson, Dolemite gives them an inspirational speech, which I'm sure will be remembered through the ages.
I'm gonna let them know that Dolemite is my name and fucking up motherfuckers is my game.
And when there's a boom mic in sight, you know it'll be closely followed by me, Dolemite.
Since the movie doesn't have enough corrupt white officials, we then meet Mayor Paul Giamatti here, who has close ties with Willie Greene.
I know he's back. In fact, I had him bailed out so that I could hit him whenever we're ready.
God, this guy sounds like Harvey Firestein's frog. Oh, come on, why does the fucking boom mic need to be there? All the sound in this shot was put in post.
Alright, cut to Dolemite saying something clever.
I'm afraid of ghosts.
Ghosts, if you ever see a ghost, cut the motherfucker.
Yes, because ghosts are quite vulnerable to being stabbed. Later on, Dolemite and several other guys, who I'm positive actually are pimps, meet for a gala of performances at the nightclub. Could the audience look any more disinterested? Better change this shit up.
If you like pina coladas, if you're not into yoga.
Oh good, and it's followed by an interpretive dance number.
Christ, the only way this scene would be even more unnecessary is if it were part of an Oscar telecast.
Way down in the jungle deep, the lion stepped on the signified monkey's feet.
Okay, is this story gonna further the plot in any way whatsoever? No? Then I don't care!
Well, there we have it, a scene where we desperately need a microphone, and it's nowhere in fucking sight. Dolemite chills out backstage, and holy shit, put those tits away, this is a public place. At least here we get to see more of his stunning wardrobe. The hell, is that a fucking sailor outfit? Dolemite goes into the crowd to meet up with Willie Greene, and I'm sure it's gonna be every bit as riveting as the coffee scene from Heat.
You wanna see me, man?
Brother Dolemite.
Sit down, join the party.
Yeah, Dolemite, sit down. You know, that thing you were already doing a second ago in the cutaway.
Come on, don't get excited.
What, are you even seeing Dolemite's face? He couldn't get any more excited if he was actually awake. The conversation, if you can call it that, erupts into a fight, where his girls show off more of their pillow fight kata.
That what they taught you in the dojo? That when you've unarmed the man, fucking slice him to pieces?
Dolemite finally has his showdown with Willie Greene, and what, good lord! It's nice to know that somewhere out there's a cut of this film that shows Dolemite ripping Willie Greene's liver out.
God damn, Dolemite.
Thanks, officer. The double tap was really fucking necessary.
It's funny, too, knowing the FBI agent was there the entire time, because at the beginning of the scene, he can be seen running off camera to stand in his queue. Well, since Willie dies, just as we were getting to know him, every other corrupt drug dealer character in this movie also gets busted, including the mayor's wife, who gets shot in the head.
Our heroes, ladies and gentlemen.
After the deaths of Willie Greene and the mayor, a contract is put out on Dolemite, which appears to have been accepted by a young Jack Napier. It's okay, though, because the jump cuts beat the shit out of them. Even Mitchell and White are quickly arrested, as to keep the movie just under 90 minutes.
You rat suit eating hunky motherfucker!
God damn it, Dolemite. Combining two of your insults does not count as coming up with a new insult.
So with every white person in the county arrested, and Dolemite cleared of all charges, that leads to this open ending, if you can call it that.
What are you gonna do, and where do you go from here, Dolemite?
I'm going back to the flatland with all of my poor friends.
Okay, I don't need to listen to this song. If I really want to know what Dolemite and the Boom Mics are up to next, I'll just watch the sequel.
Dolemite may actually be the most beloved movie I've ever done on this show. The movie launched the B-movie career of its star, Rudy Ray Moore, who would appear in cult classics like Disco Godfather and Petey Wheatstraw, not to mention Dolemite's sequel, The Human Tornado. So well known is this character that mainstream references to the movie can be found on Saturday Night Live and this recurring sketch, Son of Dolemite, from Mad TV.
Kill that boy! Kill him dead!
Rudy Ray Moore would appear in other Dolemite-themed movies like Shaolin Dolemite and cameoing as the ghost of Dolemite in Big Money Hustlers.
So why would I do a movie that is cherished by so many people? Did you see the fucking movie?
The boom mic was in this movie so many fucking times that it now probably has its own SAG card. The fight sequences are about as well rehearsed as a mass murder spree, and the only good thing I can say about the editing of the film is that it's a notch above a snuff film.
And as the top 3 rules in the How to Be a Cinema Snob book go, rule number 1, your favorite movie is Citizen Kane. Rule number 2, anything that Charlie Kaufman wrote should have won the Oscar that year. And rule number 3, you don't like Dolemite. Well, I hope you enjoyed my review. Come back next week for something new. But I'll tell you this, though, it ain't gonna be the Human Tornado.
Oh, yeah, that's good.